Yo guys, this is Foreign in the building.
And it's Mr. Young. You're listening to Do Not Clique.
Check 1 2. You're listening to
Do Not Clique.
The headphones to monitor levels. For once, I don't have to bother.
Cool. Like on the other side.
Not really lah, because I'm a bit of a control freak.
Test.
Nice.
Andrew Martin.
Andrew.
You guys,
That's a good one.
Andrew Martin.
Test.
Who is Andrew Martin, guys?
Test. It's
Yeah,
test.
exactly. Immediately, everyone's confused right now.
Yeah.
So here with me is Mr. Young and Foreign.
Yo.
What's your real name, Foreign?
Muhammad Farhan bin Shafi'i bin Koshni.
Okay, that's very far from Foreign.
Yeah.
The irony, he's not foreign at all.
Yeah,
He's
I know,
very
right?
much a local boy.
Yeah, what about you? You're Mr. Young.
Oh, Mr. Young, aka Leong Ting Young.
Do people call you Mr. Young or just Young?
Okay, people usually call me Young,
Okay.
but this goes back to when I used to teach relief teaching, right? It was very weird for me because I was, young. I didn't want my kids to call me Mr. Leong. It made me feel old. So I was
Okay.
like, just call me Young. So they ended up calling me Mr. Young. That's kind of how it started.
Right.
Then, of course,
That was cute.
you know, obviously we're huge WWE fans, right? And then there was this wrestler called Mr. Kennedy.
yeah.
Kennedy. And then I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to start doing that too.
Oh, so Mr. Young is your gimmick name lah.
It's my gimmick name, yeah.
So we are at Power 98 station where Dikosh is, my arch nemesis Dikosh. Anyway,
Now we
when I was outside in the lobby, someone approached me. He said, "Hi, can I help you?" Then I said, "Yeah, I'm looking for Foreign and Mr. Young."
Yeah.
Oh, then he looked at me and said, "Oh, Young ah, yeah, okay." So I think he looked at me like, "Why am I so formal and call you Mr.?"
Right.
But anyway, yeah, Foreign.
Yes.
So what's up, man?
What's up?
We'll be doing our podcast first right now. So Do Not Click, and then after this, we'll be doing your podcast, which is Kick to the Gut. And I like my guts unkicked.
Oh.
Please. So Foreign, you're a rapper?
Yes.
Okay. But you do work in Power 98 as a writer.
Not exactly Power 98. I work in a company that's affiliated with Power 98.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
but I
like
do-
my distant cousin like that.
Correct.
Okay.
Related.
Distant
Twice
Malay
removed.
cousin.
Yes.
correct. For brother mother.
Yes.
He's foreign to you.
Yes. Oh,
yeah.
Not quite foreign. lah.
No.
All the foreign puns all coming out. So.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about your rapper side for a minute.
Yeah,
so
sure.
what is a rapper doing in Power 98 area?
You know, I like to do
Department.
things. I like to do things that's foreign to me. You know,
That's good.
just give everything a try. Okay, so basically
Or Roman Reigns.
Yes, I didn't start out as a rapper actually. I've been drumming and writing music growing up all the way. So I was mainly a drummer. So I always write lyrics for my band. So a couple of years ago,
What is your band's name?
it's called Rendered 27. So we do pop rock, like Maroon 5, that kind of vibe. So it's really random for me to go over to hip hop and R&B. But I've always had that side of me that I really like, listening to this kind of music. Kendrick Lamar, Childish Gambino, Dre, that kind of stuff. So yeah, my lead singer was telling me like, hey, since you write so much lyrics, why don't you try to make a solo song, a song where just you're writing and you are delivering the song. And I'm like, I can't sing. Then okay, I'll rap.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then so one thing led to another. He asked me to do a verse on a rap bridge lah. I did it. I wrote the lyrics with the intention of having an actual rapper to do the part. But after he heard me perform it, and he said, hey, you know what? You can do it. Why not you do it? Shout out to my friend Yul. He was a big part of pushing me to do rap. And yeah, it's been great ever since,
Are you involved with the Beat Society guys in Singapore back then?
Beat Society.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if that's during your time. How old are you now?
Yeah, I'm that back then is a long time, I guess. I just turned 26, so I'm
Oh, you're
still,
very young.
still young.
You're just 2 years younger than me. Not
Yeah, but no.
You're very young.
I hate
but
the both of
you're
you.
very young. No
By
pun
the way.
intended.
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
can we don't talk about 20s when we are with Mr.
let's
Young,
not talk about
Mr. Young,
age.
sorry. He lives vicariously through his name.
Yeah, oh, that's a good one.
So how many songs have you done by far?
Okay, so actually this year was a big year for me. I released my first ever R&B collaboration with 2 other singers, Yasa and Tiara. Azalea, it's called Set On You. So that's like one of my biggest singles because it's out on Ria. And then before that, I actually released a solo rap song, English song. It's called Brand New. So out on Spotify and all the usual stuff. Yeah.
Already a song with 2 chicks. I like your style. I like your
Alright,
style, bro. So Mr. Young,
Yes.
let's talk about your journey a little bit.
Okay.
Which school were you from?
Which school? Wow, we're really going
Were you
back,
from poly or uni?
It's really
Well,
the journey.
That's why, right? Well, actually, no. I went overseas to do my tertiary education. So
Okay.
I was in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
And-
Guess who's from there?
Jericho?
Yes,
Yeah.
Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega as well.
Yeah.
Talking about wrestling, of course. But yeah, I went overseas before my O-levels because I knew I was going to fail my Chinese, my mother tongue. Typical banana, English okay, but Chinese, going to fail. So my parents are like, you know what, you need to get the hell out of here.
Oh, dear.
If not, you're not going to go to university. Because I come from that time where you have to have degree is the most important, you know what I mean? That sort of a thinking. that's why they shipped me off, and I spent like 5 years in Winnipeg lah.
It explains your accent a little bit,
thank
lah.
you.
Yeah,
I
and how well you converse in English.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing is, I don't think I've even really changed. I think I've always been like what they call
Yeah.
kentang.
You're quite hybrid, lah. Like sometimes you have a la. Like you have this smooth English speaking, and then you la.
Well, here's the thing. When I listen back to some of the stuff I recorded back when I was in Canada, I cringe because I was complete like North American style. Like, hey guys, how's it going, man? And well, even now when I do that, like my hair stands on my arms because
My hair stands on my arms.
I know it was so gross, but it's that whole like, some people, they are so confident in themselves.
We hate our voice, lah. I get the same.
Yeah.
I feel you. I feel you.
It's like you want to sound like the people you are with, right? So yeah, that's where that came from lah. But I think at finally my age, I can be as much of myself as I want lah.
So how do you land this job as a DJ? Was this your first job ever or what?
No, I mean I've done other things. I did substitute teaching before when
Okay.
I first came back to Singapore. Then did admin stuff, all of which was like boring as hell.
Wow, you're a normal Singaporean like all of us.
I know, right?
Yeah, you go to Canada for what?
That's why. But then, I decided, I want to try something different. I joined this contest called the Next Big Thing.
Oh, Brock Lesnar?
Brock Lesnar, I'm like,
Yeah,
I was
all
waiting
this
for one of you to
wrestling
catch that
puns all the
reference, right?
Here comes the pin.
Yeah, this was almost like what? 17, 16 years ago. And it was like, it's supposed to be a combination of you'll be on Channel 5, you'll be on 987 FM, you'll be on Lime Magazine. Who remembers Lime Magazine?
Of course, I do.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I do.
I hated the television part because television was a lot of waiting, a lot of take, retake. And I'm not natural in front of a camera lah. The radio part, I was very excited for because...
Can hide your face.
Yeah, can hide my face. Thanks, bro.
That's
Thanks.
why I do the podcast. It's the same reason, bro. I want to be on camera, but I don't want to be on camera.
Right. But no, it was just so much fun. And I think a lot of it goes to the fact that my first radio interview was with Daniel Ong.
Ooh.
Dan the man who, down the road, he became my co-host, Dan and
Full
Young.
circle lah.
Yeah. So because I got to do the show with him and I saw, look at this idiot. He's having a great time. He was doing like a midnight show, talking nonsense and just making money from it as well. So I'm like, shit, this is
It's the
what
dream,
I want
man.
to do.
This is the dream.
Yeah, this is the dream. So yeah, then I joined Radio Academy. I think now they call it Singapore Media Academy or something. They charge like $500. You take one course.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The thing with that is, like with a lot of courses, the amount of people who do become a radio DJ from there is actually quite small. But I guess because I was quite persistent, I kept sending in. Even though my first audition, they recorded me, they kind of rejected me.
Oh, yeah,
But I
yeah.
kept trying until they were like, hey, actually, we need a part-timer. So why don't you,
Nice.
come in and part-time? And that's where I grew sort of my skill
And
set.
you were
lah.
one of the first few, right, to graduate from the Radio
yes,
Academy?
second intake.
Oh, second
It's like going to WWE like that, like trying very hard.
Yeah, the indies followed.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I didn't do indie. There's no indies. NXT.
NXT straight away, right?
Yeah, NXT, then finally main roster.
For people listening in who
Yeah.
are not really wrestling fans, who knows you're a closet wrestling fan and
Yeah,
you
man.
might be fans after listening to this. So we might sometimes throw familiar names like Brock Lesnar, Chris Jericho, and sometimes a little bit of gems like he mentioned just now, Kenny Omega, which
Yes.
you should really know who he is if you are a wrestling fan.
For
But
sure.
we hope that people listening in who have zero interest in wrestling will find some interest in wrestling after listening to this.
I feel
So
like
it's-
everyone, though, like at some point in your life, you've watched some form of wrestling.
Exactly, yep.
You know? The Rock, for goodness sakes, he
Yep.
came from wrestling back in the Attitude Era.
Yep.
Stone Cold, Steve Austin. If you've ever said suck it,
And all this
You
is not just wrestling culture, it's pop culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't know who Hulk Hogan is, I don't know what to say lah.
Yeah, you know?
Hulk Hogan.
When it comes crashing
Okay,
down,
don't start. You guys should watch episode 5 of Kick to the Gut and you had this whole
Is this a
rendition.
knee-jerk reaction if
Yeah,
you
it was
mention the name
terrible.
Hogan?
Yes.
Or every time you say Lashley.
Lashley.
Okay, yeah.
Is that a Leo
Leo
Rush?
Rush.
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.
We love him here
Leo
in
Rush
Kick to the Gut.
You know,
impersonation.
to be honest, that has actually been growing on me.
Yeah, I
the
know, right?
Lashley thing. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's
it's
so
annoying that
ridiculous.
it's good.
yeah.
Okay, so tell us about how you guys meet.
We met in the office.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
And
and then
you mentioned that it's very recent, right? It's about 1 year
No,
of
less
friendship.
than a year.
less than a year.
Less than a year of
I got
friendship.
a good story for this because like everyone else, I was a fan of Mr. Young from 97.
Hey,
you know?
don't lie, walao.
Yeah, so I just like, oh, okay, cool guy. He loves wrestling. Cool guy. If one day I ever meet him, I'll say that lah. Yeah, I'm a wrestling fan too. So when I first started working here, and I had a chance to go to the 97, Power 98 office. Copyright.
Boo!
You came to see Hanli, right?
It's my alma mater. lah,
Yeah,
you know?
alma mater.
I can't hate.
Yeah, you gotta love and
Yeah,
embrace, your
yeah.
past. But anyway, I was
My
in-
batch was better. I mean, no,
whoa,
sorry.
whoa, whoa!
I'm kidding.
Oh,
Not
you
trying to
don't-
start beef.
You're gonna stir beef
Kidding.
already.
Start beef.
So yeah, I was at the Power 98 office, and then I saw, right. This is the truth, by the way.
Hanli.
Gosh.
No, not yeah. I didn't see Hanli wasted, but I saw a huge ass Brock Lesnar standee
Uh-huh.
at this guy's desk, and like I was thinking like, who the hell has a Brock Lesnar? Confirm Mister Young one, but he wasn't in at that point in time. I was thinking like, and then he has the in paper. My name is Paul Heyman, and I'm the advocate for. And then got the Brock Lesnar standee at the end there.
Okay. To be fair, and I'm going to explain why the heck this was at my desk, is because one of our morning show DJs, JK, he knows that I'm a huge fan of wrestling, and every year for my birthday, he's bought me a wrestling standee.
Okay.
Right? The recent one was Brock
Sweetheart.
Lesnar. Sorry?
Sweetheart.
Yes. Before that was Roman Reigns. He did that because he knew I wasn't a fan of Roman Reigns. So he purposely buy me the
Get
Roman
under your
Reigns
skin.
standee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a bit nervous to meet him, but like, you know what? I just got to point this out. So it happens to be like we had like a workshop together.
Yeah.
We had a workshop together, and then like we just minding our own business. And during lunch, I just walked up to him.
But
and
were
like,
you already joined the company by then?
yeah, I joined the company, but
Okay.
I haven't been formally introduced to the
Okay.
rest of them. So during lunch, I just walked up to him and was like, "Hey, you're a wrestling fan, ah?" Oh, then after that, for the next 3 hours, we were just talking wrestling. We
Just
didn't
clicked.
stop. Yeah, we just clicked, man. We
The
talked.
opening line.
Yeah.
talk
Are you a
clicks.
wrestling fan?
Yeah, we talked all through lunch. We just sat in the same table with like 3 other people, but we completely ignore them. right?
Yeah, and then we just stopped wrestling.
Yeah, all the way. Yeah, and then it became a thing because my office and his office are not nearby. I mean, it's nearby, but we are not in the same office. So every time he come visits, when we like say hi to each other, straight away we mention, "Hey, do you watch the recent event? Hey, da, 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 da." And then, yeah, then I realized like, hey, he gets me, you know?
He gets me.
He gets me. He's like my wrestling soulmate.
Yeah.
Wrestling soulmate.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have this thing where they love wrestling, but it's not something we really shout out at the top of our
Yeah,
lungs.
you can't connect with your girlfriends with wrestling, no. You can only connect with guys with wrestling.
Right.
I've tried. I've been bringing a lot of girls to SPW, you know.
Oh,
it's
is
like
it?
my plus ones. They enjoy it, you know. They really enjoy it. But okay, I agree
A
with
lot
you.
of girls.
I know.
It's like,
right?
you know, try and error. Okay,
See which
doesn't
one
work,
fits.
doesn't work,
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
work.
Yeah. No, but I think the cool thing is like if someone gets it, it's like an inside circle thing, you know. Yeah, and then we can just talk for hours.
Just a quick question. Have you been to WrestleMania?
No, I have not. It's one of my life dreams.
Because there was one WrestleMania, I can remember, where the camera was panning and then someone was holding a Singapore flag.
Oh.
So I was thinking back of my mind whether it was you or something.
I've met her.
Oh, it's a her.
It's a her. It's a she.
It's a she.
She's a Malay tudung girls. Her name is Syazana.
Super
Okay.
fan.
She's a big fan. Been commenting on our shows as well.
She should be in your show.
Oh yeah, then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
definitely have plans for.
Singapore flag
Yeah,
WrestleMania girl.
man.
She is pretty cool. She's actually a pretty hardcore fan. She flies to WrestleMania to catch the shows. She's taken a photo with
What does she work?
Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, actually, that's a good
How
question.
can she
What does she
afford?
do?
How
huh?
can she afford WrestleMania?
Not cheap, leh.
No, she works a normal job. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I cannot divulge here, but
She
it's not-
probably saves up.
she
Then,
saves
not
up.
just for
She
wrestling.
saves up.
But that's like, you know,
She's a
I would
proper
save up for like a holiday or.
To her, that's the holiday.
Okay,
lah.
that's a holiday.
You
Yeah,
know?
fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
I think the first ever wrestling event I watched was in KL in 2014. WWE came to KL. And that was the first time I met her. Because I recognized her on TV. Then I like walked up to her. And from there we struck a friendship. And yeah, then I realized that there's a huge like hardcore community of wrestling fans. And she's one of them. So yeah, that's cool.
Every wrestler you'll see her lah, probably. Like, you know, Finn Balor comes here and then occasionally Booker T or Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
You
If
see,
you-
hey, this is the Singapore flag girl.
Yeah. I'll show you a
Probably.
photo, then you probably like keep an eye on her. You'll see her everywhere. One.
Okay, alright, fellow Muslim. There's surprisingly a lot of Malay WWE fans. No lah, that's actually quite diverse. Like, I didn't know why I said that. So, how has wrestling affected your lives?
Wow.
Per se?
Well, I can tell you how it's affected the way I do my work because of what I do. You know, we do a lot of sound production as well. And to me, anyway, I think some of the best production work comes from the WWE. If you watch their video packages,
Yep.
make your hair stand. You know,
Yeah,
that kind of
it's
stuff.
amazing.
Make you cry, make you laugh, make you cheer. So a lot of that actually comes from the way I present myself, the way I craft, let's say, commercials or whatever, has to do probably with the way WWE produces their videos,
Yeah,
their
definitely.
packages, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So in that way, yes. And also, like, I mean, I think we all need something to sort of devote our lives to. Like, people are fans of football. You know, they follow a team. They really, bond with other people about that. For us, I think wrestling is the same thing. We
Yeah,
talk
for
about our
sure.
favorite wrestlers, our favorite shows. We disagree on things. We have arguments about things. But at the end of the day, we're sharing a passion.
Yes, correct.
You know?
Yeah, I think I was born into wrestling.
Oh.
Like trying to make myself so happening.
Yeah, macam like second generation
Yeah,
wrestler.
yeah.
Huh? I was born into it.
I was a second generation wrestling
Fan.
watcher, wrestling fan.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, same as me. My
Yeah.
dad used to watch Superstars.
I only watch Live Wire, and I was like,
Oh my god.
Yeah. That was
Afterburn.
our time.
You young punks, you
I
know.
got no cable.
Yeah.
I also didn't have back in the day. We watched WWF Superstars. It was a month late. All the storylines month late during my time.
I only can watch pay-per-view if I buy the bootleg DVDs, you know.
Yeah.
The VCD.
Yeah,
Did you?
VCD. Yeah, VCD. Yeah,
Yeah, we
not
must,
even DVD.
must go
VCD.
JB buy the $10 one.
Yeah.
Then after
You know
bring
what,
in
Singapore
for the
got
third one.
what?
No, yeah, Pasar Malam always got
Pasar
sell.
Malam.
Yeah, Pasar Malam lah.
Yeah. Wait, but during that time, right, that was on Channel 5 as well.
Oh, on Channel 5, yeah.
Oh, wow. See?
Yep. Do you guys feel like outcasts, that we are like a community of outcasts, people who like wrestling?
A little bit.
Because you know, you mentioned that this guy like wrestling. You know, it's not like a group. You can approach a group of people. Hey guys, I like wrestling.
Yeah.
It's just the two of you at that moment in time before that forge your friendship.
A moment.
That forge your friendship.
Moment like this.
Yeah.
I feel, a little bit.
Do your friends give you the weird eye like, you watch wrestling? Isn't it fake? Isn't it fake? You know, they give
Yeah.
the same reaction all the time.
And then you have to explain it to them.
Yeah.
Actually, and then you find yourself like, ugh. I mean, my wife does this sometimes, you know, because I mean, she used to watch wrestling.
I was about to ask you, what does your wife think of your wrestling obsession?
She puts up with it. You know, she used to watch it with her father. So, like I said, like we've all had experiences watching wrestling before, whether we want to admit it or not.
Yep.
But yeah, especially the product now, as it is way more athletic, less of a, like the nonsense show that was the Attitude Era, all about, weird storylines, shock TV lah, as it were. But yeah, I feel it's still a bit like I have to justify myself. Oh yeah, they're proper athletes, it takes a lot to do this, do that kind of thing. Yeah.
I think the thing about the outcasting, right, is I realized that you can be completely passionate about something, right? But if you're too passionate about something, people just see it's
a
weird.
little crazy.
Yeah,
lah.
people think it's weird.
I don't want to be that guy that brings a belt when I go to meet someone. Like, I don't know why people do that. Like, you know,
Well, I mean, you're saying this to the guy who brought a replica belt to the WWE event. When they were in
So
town.
you just said it to this guy lah.
Okay, not on the day. Like, I'm not gonna bring a belt on the day, of course, but to an event, yes.
Okay. Put it this way. Like the thing about the outcasting is, right, for me, I kind of like embrace it. It's like it makes me. I try to be something that's not me. You know, like you try to pretend like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But I never really felt comfortable and alone. And I think, I don't know whether maybe Young agrees or disagrees with it, but ever since we started the podcast, I think we felt so comfortable in our own skin.
Yeah.
Being ourselves and without any kind of like...
you find people who have the same in common line.
Yeah. And I think that's life in general. You gotta find your clan, You gotta find
Your clique?
Your clique. You gotta find your people,
Yeah.
And no matter what you do, there's always gonna be someone or a group that doesn't see the way you see things,
Yeah.
And it's cool, That's life. So
Well said.
I think like we are lucky to have this entertainment, outlet that we can live our life vicariously through, talk about it, and it's been around since ages ago. It's not as if like it started, To me, honestly, UFC may or may not die down. It doesn't seem like it has that longevity as WWE. And I'm not trying to throw shots or whatever, but what I'm saying,
He went there.
What I'm saying about wrestling is, right, it was one of the first few things on TV.
Yep.
Since
It was sanctioned way before MMA lah.
Correct.
It
was
MMA took a while to get sanctioned.
correct. It was an Olympic sport. So there's
Well,
so
okay,
many facets of it.
You're kind of going in a different direction there
Correct.
when you say that, though, because like when you talk about Olympic sport, it's not really the pro wrestling that we know.
Amateur wrestling.
It's amateur wrestling.
Yeah.
you
Which is
know.
like shoot wrestling.
Shoot
lah.
wrestling, yeah. But the whole thing, though, with like MMA, you can have very boring periods, boring matches, stuff like that. Okay, I shouldn't say boring. I should say it's harder to understand what they're doing.
Because it's shoot
Jiu-jitsu,
fighting,
yeah,
Yep.
it's shoot fighting, right? And you can't sort of build a company around a person. For example, Ronda Rousey. They built the whole company around, well, arguably two people, Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor. And you can't predict who's going to win. It takes one kick, one punch, one choke out, and that's it. All of a sudden, all the marketing goes...
And do you realize they actually borrow a lot of elements from WWE?
Yeah.
Yep.
To market
Conor and Floyd Mayweather especially.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
The way they brand themselves. Heels, man. Heels.
Yeah.
Heels of the business.
Yeah, but that's why pro wrestling has always had that longevity, because you can sort of say, okay, I can put all my effort into like this person, like a Brock Lesnar, like a Kurt Angle, like a Steve Austin, and build the company around them, because you can build their story. You can tell their story over a long period of time.
You hit the nail right on the head. Essentially, right, wrestling is storytelling at its most finest, like rawest, fundamental form. It's just another medium of storytelling.
Yep.
And the best part about it is it happens live, you talk about how movie actors they have script that they
Theatre.
memorize,
Yeah,
correct?
theatres,
Yeah. The closest is theatre. Theatre you get the direct reaction straight away.
Yep.
But movies you don't get that. You know, but why are they given more credibility? You know, I think it's much harder to be a wrestler. You have to perform, you have to be a stuntman, you have to be
Yep.
an actor, you have
Yeah.
to emote.
Yep.
You know, and you know, it's actually very underrated.
Yep. You're right.
Well, this is like wrestling love fest right
Yeah,
now.
you're right.
All these anti-wrestling people are going, oh my gosh, rolling their eyes.
Our wrestling boner right now.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Just go to a proper wrestling event,
Yeah.
and then you will feel the vibe. You'll feel the action, and
Yep.
it's very hard not to be caught up in it unless you are some really like stuck up, like I don't like this.
Yeah.
You know, you'll definitely get into the emotion, even if it's like one of the smaller federations, or even if it's like local wrestling. Like go to SPW. You don't need to know who they are. You will learn who they are.
On the go.
Yes,
You'll
through
feel
the course of the match.
Yeah.
Shout out to Andreuw Tang.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Right.
man.
My next question. Do you guys know who is superstar Kurt Tay?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
I know the story.
he's a huge wrestling fan. Okay, I don't know a lot about him. I just know, like, sort of on the surface, he's like, I wouldn't say an attention seeker, but he gets a bad rap, I guess, for being. He's a wrestling fan, but he puts us wrestling fans in a bad light.
Mm-hmm.
Is it safe to say that?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about him, but I think from what you tell me, right? You talk about the guy who always brings his wrestling belts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the ultimate wrestling belt guy.
That guy.
Yeah. But his belts are like the sort of toy one you can buy
It's
in
okay,
Toys R
this
Us.
is a podcast, guys. We can pause. So there's a lady that just came in
Oh.
and like, she was tiptoeing away
Right,
to
it's like putting-
grab her bag, but it's like, this is a podcast. I can cut this out, guys.
It's
not
just
live.
fine.
We are not doing live.
Yeah.
really.
Oh, okay,
Jackie,
hello.
Yeah.
Jackie just came in.
Hello.
Jackie, my co-host on
Hi.
the X Factor on Power.
X Factor. X Pac.
Oh my
She doesn't get that. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry, nice to
okay,
meet you.
have a good evening.
Bye.
You know,
Bye.
she used to watch wrestling because she used to be my ex-girlfriend.
Oh.
And now we co-host a show together called the X Factor.
EX.
EX.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's interesting that she came in, okay. So with her, yeah, we used to watch wrestling together. I used to force her to watch. And she was quite into it lah.
Yeah.
You know. Then after that, we broke up.
She
We
broke
said-
up with you because you are too obsessed.
You like
lah,
the
no lah.
wrestling more than me? No, it was other reasons.
Yeah.
But then we remained friends. We started off as friends, right? And then we became co-hosts on air, that was our whole gimmick lah. We are
Yeah.
exes, but we are doing a show together. Then fast forward
Yeah.
that interview I had with Dolph Ziggler. Came into the studio and I think he had fun. He had a lot of fun with us.
Oh, she was the girl that you said he wanted to hit on or whatever.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, well, I don't know.
So
maybe
just a brief story.
Yeah.
Ziggler asked you out via DM after he came here for an interview.
Yes.
And you think that the agenda behind that is like he wanted to bring
That was
her along, Jackie
episode
along.
1, right?
Yeah, episode 1 we
Yep.
mentioned that. Yeah, but I don't think anything happened.
Yeah,
but you know, he was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You know, I respect Mr. Young. He's the man I aspire to be.
Oh.
To be so cool with his exes.
No, bro, please aspire to be yourself, man.
Okay, Ken.
I don't want to make this all about Mr. Young, but just give me
No,
one.
no, it's
just let me
fine.
get this one question out.
It's all about
This
the
this
game.
totally unrelated to whatever we're talking about. But you mentioned something about working with your ex.
Yeah.
So this is a topic that I wanted to talk about because it sounds interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. How does it feel like you are in a relationship with someone and you are working together with her, and then going through a breakup and then having still to work together?
Okay, so we first started working together at 987. She, funnily enough, she started as a part-timer. I became a full-timer around that time.
Oh,
So we
okay.
would hang out at events all the time. And then eventually we got together lah. It was weird working with her because of the nature of the industry. Because she was just getting into it. I was already like several years into it. And you know how it is. You go to events, you go clubbing all the time.
Yeah.
And
That kind of lifestyle.
yeah, you know, and I mean I'm not saying things happened, but things
Yeah, she's not the one. Basically, she's not who you are meant to be with.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, at the end of the day, I'm glad that we had that journey, but I'm glad that she's still in my life because she's still a friend. You know, someone I can always, turn to when I
Yeah.
need
Yeah.
Confide,
help.
trust.
Yeah, and of course to host a show when I'm not here. Someone I can rely on lah.
Yeah.
But
basically.
did it become a bit awkward because we had to still work together, or was it still a very mutual thing that is still okay?
It was awkward for a while because then I left MediaCorp to come here, right? And she was still working at MediaCorp. So we actually had like almost a year apart.
Okay.
Right, so that we would catch up here and there, but we weren't really talking. I mean, when you work with someone, you see them literally every single day, right? But then after that, we had a little bit time apart. Then we had the idea, hey, why don't we bring her on as my co-host? It would be quite the gimmick lah, interesting gimmick. So
So who came out with the gaming? Was it you or
it was me.
someone?
It was me. I talked to because one of those meetings with the bosses, like, okay, who's out there? Who's looking for a job? Who wants to jump ship? that kind of stuff. Then I brought it up. It's like, hey, Jackie, is thinking of leaving. She might want to jump ship. Why don't we bring her here?
Oh, this is a real DJ politic.
Yeah.
It's a,
that
right?
it's a
goes on,
WCW, WWE thing.
When I
Yeah.
was with Martins, I asked them the question about their beef with Glenn Ong. But it was buried. They buried the hatchet.
Sure.
Long story short, they buried the hatchet. So the guys are cool. Martins even went to their wedding and all that. Glenn and Jean's wedding.
Yep.
Still, it's very surprising to see there's this, even like a close knit community.
Mm.
There's still
I think everyone's
politics
human.
going on. Yeah.
It's bound to happen,
And then you will say something and they'll like take it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a beef with Glenn for a while as well. And then we squashed it at the end. Because, I mean, to be honest, okay, and like we're cool now. But back then, I think he has this reputation of just being
Shock
a
jock.
loud mouth. Yeah,
Shock
shock
jock.
jock, right? He'll
Yeah,
say
yeah,
whatever. So there was this one time, Dan and I were talking about, I can't remember, they were hosting a TV show, and then I made a joke about them being old and ugly. Or something like that.
Okay.
Something
Nothing malicious. It's
nothing
just,
malicious. It's just a joke, lah.
Yeah.
And I thought that he would take it as such, lah. But maybe he took it the wrong way, and then he
Okay.
sent me a message.
Long
that was,
SMS.
sibei long SMS. Then
Super
I was
long.
like, what
Was
the
he together
hell?
with Jean by that?
No. That was way before.
Okay.
Yeah. Then I sent him back a message. Then
After that, okay.
it got sour for a few weeks. Actually,
Wow.
yeah.
Because at that point in time, you didn't see that it was wrong. What you
yeah,
said,
I didn't think it was wrong.
So you doubled down, lah.
Yeah, so I doubled down. Then he doubled down. Then it was like, wow.
Then double Mac kilo fish.
double decker, double down.
There's no
triple
like
stack.
dirt sheets to say all this. No. Actually, there are like mothership or whatever.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but there's no DJ dirt sheet, just like there is dirt sheets on wrestling.
Well, there
Right.
is.
There
We
is.
know it. We talk
We know
about
it.
it, but we just
Yeah.
I don't think people care that much,
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The DJ personalities, I think it's pretty chill right now, right?
Yeah.
You guys are not like super.
Well, we'll leave it at that.
all right.
Sonia,
On the
Joakim.
next episode of.
But what
Okay, never
about
mind.
them?
No, nothing. No,
Mhm.
Hey, online.
Wanna get them on the show.
Okay.
what about you? What about any girlfriend
Oh wow.
stories you wanna share?
Girlfriend
Mr.
stories.
Foreign?
Yeah, how many already? How many you bring to SPW?
No. I'm still a young guy, still single.
Share some stories, man. Like
Um,
something interesting.
Oh man, you want to know a lot of interesting. Okay, I got first ever girlfriend I ever had. Dumped me the day I ORD.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, she we were together for
Bitch.
we were together for 3.5 years, and 2 of those years was in NS, and we broke up.
Last
And-
day.
Yeah, and then
I couldn't take it anymore. But it's my last day.
Yeah, no, he's gonna ORD. No, it's the monster. Get him out. Yeah, and then what happened was she actually got together with a friend of mine. After that,
Oh.
yeah. So that was the very bad, left a sour taste
It's like
in my mouth. Yeah, but the funny thing is, I'm still friends with the guy,
Oh.
and I kind of like make peace with whatever happened. Like me and that girl, we don't talk anymore. But like I wish her the best. But I think when you went through that at 21, 22, it really changes your whole perspective on life. Like what you believe. You can become very bitter. You can become like a dick. But I'm very lucky. I guess I have really great friends at that point in time that kind of like brought me down to earth. And like said like your confidence, your validation, doesn't have to come from a girl. Find yourself. So I always live by this motto of like, you always have to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and that comes with the name as well, Elias of foreign. Do things that's foreign to me, that's alien to me. Put yourself in situations, because that's the only way you can grow. I wouldn't grow if I was with that girl and I ended up like marrying her, which is my high school sweetheart, for example. Yeah, so I think everyone goes through like shitty girlfriend breakup
sure.
situations. Yeah.
Basically, you're Matt Hardy lah.
Oh yes. Then after that, I had a whole broken universe period in my life where I
this is
suddenly had
like-
grey hair.
Yeah, soon
I
enough.
was thinking that, did you like subconsciously put that storyline into your life?
Oh my
You know?
god! You want to know something? You want to know something? Okay, I can tell you an interesting story. So
Yeah.
like the whole Matt Hardy Rita age situation, right? I didn't know the two of them were getting together, like secretly, and then until one day all three of us went to the gym together. So we went to SP gym together, and then like they didn't know I was behind them because I was stepping out from Dover, right? Then the two of them was ahead. I didn't know, so I just wanted to go up and say hi to them, blah blah blah. So I saw them holding hands, and I was like, bruh, you don't do that, bruh. Okay, never mind. You know what I did? I just completely just walked past them. I just walked past them, and they know that I saw them. And I was gymming in silence, like what this shit.
like
The rest of the
making
group.
your bicep as big as
Yeah.
possible.
And then after
This
the
bitch don't know what she's missing.
after the whole thing, that girl, she came up to me and she said, "Hey, I want to have a talk with you." And I'm like, "Okay, can." We went running around the tracks, and then she was like, it felt like old times. For that brief moment, I felt like, wow, I'm with her. We are spending time alone. We are jogging, like how we did last time. After everything happened, like it was that brief moment. Then she like smiled at me, and then she's like, "Yeah, I'm with this guy." And you know what I did?
What?
Without saying a word, I'm like, okay. I just walked back, and I walked past the gym, and that guy was inside waiting for the news. Like, you know, waiting for her to break out the bed. And I was like, fuck this shit, man. I don't want to have anything to do with this whole situation. I just walk away. That really broke my heart, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Good man though for doing the right thing and just walking away.
Very classy lah, at least lah. You know. The
But
way
now
you
I'm
handle
talking about it on a podcast 4 years later. So
No names have been mentioned, so nobody knows who
Nah,
they
it's
are.
all good.
It's
But
fine.
I honestly wish both of them the best. They're still part of my life, I think. And I think they always will be. I think the great thing about exes, right? I'm not that kind of guy that, if you break up with someone, you must delete her off your life.
delete.
You know, for me, they are the scars, right, that you should wear proudly. That makes you you know.
Yeah.
I'm appreciate there was a period in time where we were in love. So you should, you know, thank you, next.
Relationship
Thank you.
advice by
Next.
Foreign.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, you know, I'm
Yeah.
so fucking grateful for my ex.
Yeah.
All that shit. All that Ariana Grande shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for anyone who's confused about why I just said Matt Hardy, so go Google Matt Hardy /H/Lita storyline.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
I'm
just
so
to
lucky
get
we-
up to speed to what we're talking
I'm
about.
so lucky when
I'm just gonna throw in some
that bad.
references
Yeah.
because just to be polite to the non-wrestling fans who are listening in.
We actually haven't started talking about the podcast at all. I realized we haven't started talking about Kick to the Gut at all.
Kick to the gut. Oh yeah.
Well,
okay.
I mean, to be fair, we have been talking about a lot of wrestling. So
Yeah, I
it's
know.
kind of talking about our
Okay.
podcast.
Let's talk a bit about the podcast a little
Sure.
bit.
Sure.
Kick to the gut. I think you did mention in the first episode how you came up with the name Kick
Yep.
to the gut. Any regrets up till now?
Absolutely not. I think it's a
We
fun
love it.
name.
Yeah, we love it.
You know,
Yeah,
and it
it's-
is really like what we said, like it's the start of, bigger things.
It's really cool, man.
Yeah, we want to
Yeah.
grow this whole podcast.
And bro, it took us a while to get the
Oh my
name,
God.
man.
What were the alternative names that you
Wow,
have?
we had a wrestling podcast generator.
Nah,
Wrestling podcast name
the
generator.
sharpshooters.
Yeah, we wanted to be the sharpshooter, and then
And
we
then
had
for
like,
there's the Bret Hart
The
podcast.
power bomb.
power bomb. Like, bro, any single
Any move lah,
wrestling move
off
you
the
can
top
think
rope.
of,
Swanton bomb.
Yeah.
it's been taken.
Yep.
It's been taken.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
taken.
Seriously? In like podcast wise or shows or whatever.
Podcast,
in general.
shows, whatever. The sharpshooters, you were so proud of it, and then we realized, shit, man, it's taken.
It's taken.
Yeah.
What was the other wrestling podcast in Singapore?
Hard hits.
Hard hits.
Okay.
Yeah. Shout out to Hard
guys.
Hits. Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing it for a while. They just celebrated their 100th episode. As
Wow.
well.
Yeah.
They've been doing it even longer than I have.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Podcast OGs, man.
Yeah, more than
OGs.
2 years, 3 years. I had a shock because on their 100th episode, they gave us a shout out.
Sweethearts.
Yeah, I was aware of them because I did like check out some of their stuff from some of my friends who go to SPW and like,
Sure.
hey, it's cool. But when we came out with the podcast idea, right, we didn't like really think like, hey, there's another podcast, we have to beat them or whatever. No, we honestly did it because we
Just
had a
wanna
love
do
for
what you guys
wrestling.
want to do, yeah.
We just want to do our thing, and then it just so happens like people brought it up. Hey, there's another wrestling podcast, and then like it got me interested and like check out more of their stuff. But hey, they are really cool. They know their shit. They know their wrestling stuff.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, especially in this time and age, right, there is no more barrier to content. You don't have to be part of a radio station. You don't have to be part of a TV. You don't have to be selected if you want to do something. So why not go ahead and do it? And I actually was very surprised that there was only one wrestling podcast in Singapore. I thought there would be more. So like we're like, hey man, let's talk about the shit we love and have fun doing it.
The
And
thing, the thing is, a lot of people talk about it, but they don't be about it.
Yeah.
That's a John Cena reference.
Sure,
by the
sure.
way.
I like how there's a small community that is trying to grow the wrestling demographic in Singapore. Like there's SPW, then there's you guys,
GrappleMax.
GrappleMax. Yeah, so it's good lah. It's a close knit community.
Yeah, and I think the thing about it, right, is what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring it back to the social consciousness and make it like it's a normal thing, you know, like how people take MMA, go to Evolve, and it's like, oh, just a normal thing. Hey, I'm going for Evolve class, you know, it's not a big deal. If we want to talk about wrestling, like it's not a big deal,
Right.
You know, there's what do you have nowadays? Pole dancing as a fitness class.
Oh, yeah.
I think the cool thing is so diverse. Like you can literally pick and choose what you want.
Yeah.
But if there's
Change
no
the perception a little bit.
if there's no one offering it, why don't we be the one that own that? You know.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep. For myself, the reason I do not really know who the other podcast is because that when I made the conscious effort to do a podcast, I told myself that I wasn't going to listen to any podcast in Singapore. The only reason was because I didn't want it to affect my creative direction of how I did the podcast.
Right. Yeah.
I've listened to Colt Cabana's podcast and I listened to Jericho's podcast. So I have an inkling of what a podcast is.
Sure.
So I took what I liked about the podcast and I told myself I wasn't going to do... I was just going to get straight to the point. The start of the intro, okay, the guest, and then straight away talk with the guest.
You literally went straight to the point. I
just
didn't even know it.
Just went straight to the point. Because I
didn't even know you started.
When I listened to the podcast with them, I skip all the initial part.
Yeah.
Skip the intro, skip the music. Because I just want to get straight to the point.
Right.
So
Maybe that's how
was
we'll cut 20 minutes off our podcast.
Yeah, I think so because we talk a lot of
That
nonsense.
was the
at start.
essence of. And shout out to all these guys. I'm glad that the podcast community itself is growing. So, and recently I did a podcast potluck with a bunch of podcasters in Singapore. I should have invited you guys. there's
I'll be waiting for next year.
Yeah, man.
I think they'll be doing sometime soon. The thing about doing a podcast in Singapore is that Singapore itself is a very small country.
Yep.
It's not like in the US where there's like millions and millions and millions of people inside. And I'm doing content specifically for Singapore.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and doing something niche itself is already a very hard thing to sell, because, already Singapore has what? 50,000, 60,000, 6 million? Sorry.
Well,
Oh, yeah, like that.
Okay, so Singapore, there's, okay,
maybe Bedok have 50,000.
there's 6 million
Yeah.
people in Singapore
Sure.
after the foreigners and all that. It's like, no,
Not
Yeah,
foreign,
part-
but
no
Yeah,
part-
foreign is one,
Yeah.
not one of
foreign-
them.
foreigners.
guests.
And how many people can you actually rope into your podcast?
Sure.
Yeah, it's very, very small to actually make it in Singapore.
I mean, as far as we are concerned, when we talk about wrestling stuff, hopefully beyond Singapore, of course, we want to look at people perhaps in Malaysia, people in Indonesia, surrounding areas to sort of, get a local feel of the subject, of the sport, of the entertainment that they love as well. And I mean, obviously, we just started, so a lot of it is, okay, we're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, how do we want to engage the people who are, interested in this sport as well.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, to be honest, obviously shooting for like, let's get these audiences in the US, may be a bit tough. But who knows, down the road, we figure out something that, maybe we can get some of those audiences as well. We just have to figure out, and the only way to figure it out is to just do it lah.
I think the first things first is we get the whole of Singapore to know us.
Yeah, man.
You just become the go-to guy. Yeah, I think that's how Apple does it, right?
Consistency lah. Consistency
Yeah,
is the key.
correct.
Yeah.
Really is.
So, I was just curious. Why did you guys wanted to do a YouTube video? Why podcast? Why not YouTube?
Because not very visual lah, we all.
Not visually pleasing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, who wants to look at us for 1 hour?
Hey,
Right? Or who wants to look at me for 1 hour?
have some
Your
self-respect
wife.
for
Oh,
yourself.
sure. Even then, not really. She's usually playing with our dog.
Wow.
But yeah, unless...
But then again, who likes to look at Dikosh for 1 hour?
True that.
Hey, he's
Yes,
getting
oh.
views, man. Oh, hey, man, he
Yeah.
just shut down our argument already, bro.
I know, right?
And let's start a YouTube
No,
channel
lah,
tomorrow.
but I mean,
No.
he cuts up his videos. They are all edited. They are not like 1 hour chunks.
And there's
Ours
like
is
a
1
light
hour.
that flash to make his face brighter and all
I mean, a
that.
ring
Yeah.
light, we can purchase a ring light also
Yeah.
lah. But I mean, if we do a video cast, let's say if we are big enough, we can hire a producer. There are a lot of software. There's a lot of software out there that can use
I would say it can be done, but I think it comes with expansion and growth.
Yeah.
So right now we are
So not yet.
Yeah, right now we are
Not
territory.
yet.
Yeah.
I would have thought that you guys would say something like it's more sustainable to do a podcast because that was what the reason is for me. Because
it is.
doing a video is very tough and
Oh, yeah.
all the more I'm doing this alone.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
right.
yeah.
I don't have someone to, hold the mic for me. I'm doing everything all by myself. So I wanted to make this as sustainable as possible, so as little work as possible and with the best amount of quality.
Right.
But
That's why the podcast was the way to go.
I do think podcast as a medium is growing.
Yeah.
In the
Definitely.
West, it's definitely a thing already.
huge.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
You know,
There's a
back then
community.
Spotify or iTunes never had a podcast category
Correct.
up till recently.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
So I think, right, why be part of a community that is already
Established.
so penetrated, established, when you...
Sorry, I cannot hear that word in a straight face lah.
I know, bro. I've been saying it too many times already.
Penetration.
Why have you been saying it so many
I'm
times? That's the question.
trying to
Check your Google
I'm
history.
trying to penetrate the market, bro.
Okay.
The market, bro.
Okay, we
Alright,
get it.
man.
We get it.
No, but you see, right? Why be part of such a saturated group when you can be the pioneers of a new frontier? You know what I mean?
Well, the funny thing is, podcasts became a thing early in my career in MediaCorp. Back when I was in 97, we did podcasts, but
It's just radio content.
radio content, like, so we cut out best
regurgitated.
bits. Yes.
Yeah.
But and actually, some radio stations still do that lah.
Regurgitate
Yeah.
radio stuff lah.
But
Try to kill the podcast market a little bit.
yeah, but I think because of consumption habits, people didn't really know how to get the podcast. You couldn't get it on the go all the time.
that point in
Now
time,
it's so easy, it's ridiculous. It's easier than listening to.
I call it the Netflix of radio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Maybe it's too ahead of your time at that
It
point
was.
in time.
It was.
Yeah,
It
you
was.
guys were.
You didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
You had the idea in your hand. Do you think DJs or radio companies in general are intimidated by podcasts?
Singapore maybe not so. Not yet, anyway. I think because the market is so small, and until we have driverless,
We don't know what we have in the
Yeah.
potential. Just like social media.
True. Yeah,
Back
exactly.
then, when people had Instagram, they didn't know the power that
Yeah.
you can earn money from this.
Correct.
You can get free
Influencers.
stuff from this.
Right, right.
We still don't know what the potential
Yeah.
of having a podcast can lead us to lah.
I mean, to be honest, for the last 2 years, I've already wanted to do a podcast because I've been a fan of podcasts for many years.
Yeah,
already.
same as
You
me as
know.
well.
But you don't think radio DJs or whatever are intimidated by us?
I don't think it's so much intimidation. I think there are a lot of radio DJs. We live in this bubble of, we are radio DJs. This is what we do. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe they don't consume that sort of media because they are so wrapped up in doing what
The
they
bubble,
do.
yeah.
You know? And like I said, especially now, I don't know lah, but as a radio DJ, it still feels like something you need to be selected. So you are quote unquote validated. You are
Sure.
DJ, very
Yeah.
special, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a podcast, anybody can do. But that's the great thing about it. Same as YouTube, stuff like that. Anybody can put out content, and if it's interesting to people, people will latch on. And
There's a novelty being
Yeah.
a part of the radio.
yeah.
I think, right, for a podcaster, right, there's so many ways you can attack it, and
Yeah.
you can talk about anything, and you have, I would say, 100% creative control, right? But as a radio DJ, right, the great thing about radio DJ is you have the exposure, you have the profile, you have the marketing behind you, but there's no such thing as you just become a DJ and that's your life and it's enough, you know what I mean? Like, in this society, in this current age, right, it's all about...
Straight age society.
Yeah.
Sorry. Another wrestling reference.
Another CM Punk reference. You can't just be a radio DJ and be. It's not enough. You know, you have to be able to cut and produce. You have to be able to.
Have to have the
host.
It depends lah. It
Have
depends
to have-
who you are. Unless you're a celebrity DJ, you don't have to do shit. You just sit there and let someone press the button.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there are some celebrity DJs out there like that. I don't know what you just mouthed to me.
Okay.
Dikosh.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no,
he
no.
actually knows how to do all this stuff.
Sorry. No,
So-
I don't attack him like that. I like Dikosh.
No, he's a nice guy. He's nice.
He's
He
a nice
just
guy. He's just volatile.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
works for him. You know,
That's his gimmick.
That's his gimmick lah.
Yeah, his
you know?
gimmick. Like, you know, like how Menka's gimmick is just to be fat. So, like.
Huh?
like, yeah.
No, that's not his gimmick. He's a hardcore guy.
No, that's big for
He's
his
crazy.
gimmick, man.
Not fat.
No,
I'm fat.
I was
That's
reading
not
one
his
of
gimmick.
his autobiographies. He actually wanted to lose weight, and then all the wrestlers was telling him against it. Like, hey, bro, why not? Why? That's your gimmick, bro.
That's what's gonna lead you to success.
Yeah.
The fact that you stand out.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
own
make
that
you
shit.
relatable.
You know, Martins was saying this that they dyed their hair because they are no Pierre Peng or
Yep.
you know Alan Wu or
To
whatever.
stand out lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what we're gonna do to stand out? Like, both of us are gonna get buff and we become like a wrestling tag team.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Same gym that you went to bump into your ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, then we'll be doing acrobatic shits like in
Acrobatic
front of
shit.
her.
Oh my gosh.
Body slam, verbal body slam.
Yeah.
All right, just final questions. Shit, I don't even know what the last question I should ask you guys.
Yeah.
Why is there a Singapore flag here?
Why
Patriotic.
not? We are in Singapore.
Yeah, we are Singapore's wrestling
Maju
podcast.
lah.
Is this the color scheme of your Power 98 room? It's like red and white.
Correct, because those are colours, my red and white. Those are
Oh,
corporate
branding
colours.
lah, branding.
Yeah.
All branding. Bro.
Branding.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what the last question is. Who's your favorite wrestler?
My favorite wrestler. Oh, that's a tough one.
I know it has changed over time, lah.
Yeah.
You cannot stick to
Well,
one.
I have top three. I find it very hard to pick just one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you say only one.
If you say Leo Rush, I'm gonna lose it.
Lashley. Okay, for me it's Chris Jericho.
Okay.
For the way
Is that number 3 or number 1?
He's number one.
Okay.
I
I thought you said top 3.
Okay, fine. Top three then. Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, and Chris Jericho.
Okay.
Yeah.
All old timers.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just like your name, Mr. Young.
Oh, thanks, bro. Well, you have to realize that was when I was really the most into
young.
wrestling.
When you were
And-
young.
Yeah, well,
Literally.
and during that era as well. Yeah,
We
post
are
Attitude era.
What about you, Mr. Foreign?
Oh wow.
Probably some foreign.
No.
Some foreign wrestlers.
All
Tajiri.
of them are Americans. Top 3. The one I grew up with was The Rock. The one that I identified the most with, that means like my personality is similar to him, is CM
John
Punk.
Cena. Oh, sorry.
No. Very close, bro. The rival, bro.
Word life.
Yeah, CM Punk. Yeah. Oh, I know why, because I'm a hip hop guy. No, it's not.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Yeah. I hated his album, by
And
the
the
way.
most favorite wrestler in the world is
Randy Orton.
Really?
voices in my head.
Yeah, the Viper,
Oh.
bro.
RK out of nowhere.
Very specific. 2009 Randy Orton.
Okay.
Is it the Viper Randy Orton or no?
The
Legend Killer?
the Viper
Post-
when he started punting people,
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
kicking in the head, kick in the head.
Oh gosh.
Kick in the gut.
That was a bit when he really owned his character. I love that heel Randy.
Okay, just the last final question. What is your finishing move?
My finishing move. Oh man, I just gave it away. It's gonna be an RKO for me.
Okay. All right. RK out of nowhere.
Man. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I don't believe you said that because that would have been mine as well.
Damn it.
Because it's just one of those moves that you can literally do out of nowhere.
right?
Okay, then I'll say Diamond Cutter.
Same
RKO
thing
and
lah.
Diamond Cutter.
All right. Okay, we
Yeah,
have
basically
we
the
have a
same
tag
thing.
team finishing move. Okay, we'll write it down. Okay.
Oh, it's so awesome to have you guys in the show, man. You see a different depths of you guys other than just talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Talk about ex-girlfriend lah. Talk about
Yeah, it came out. It just came out.
I know, it just came out.
yeah. We talk about a lot of shit here, man. And
man.
you know, I'm very, very looking forward to do your podcast, which is gonna come up right about next
All right.
Thank you for doing this, guys.
Hey, no worries.